Hello, everyone. Tonight we are stepping into the warm, dusty streets of ancient Egypt, where the Nile glimmers under a golden sun, and cats, yes, cats, strut like they own the place. Picture yourself standing on a bustling riverbank, the air thick with the scent of papyrus and baked bread, while a sleek bronze-furred feline brushes past your leg, its eyes glinting with quiet confidence. These aren't just any cats. They're royal guardians, treated better than most people. You probably won't survive this world without bowing to their whiskered majesty. Seriously, these furballs had more clout than a pharaoh's advisor. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you really like what I do here. Drop a comment with your location and local time. I'm curious where you're drifting off from tonight. Now, turn off the lights, maybe turn on the fan for some soft background music, and let's enjoy our evening ride together. You shuffle along a sun-baked path in Memphis, around 1500 BCE, where the Nile's gentle ripples hum in the background. The city's alive with chatter, merchants haggling over barley, kids chasing reeds, and priests muttering prayers to Ra. But your eyes keep drifting to the cats. They're everywhere, lounging on limestone steps, weaving through market stalls, or perched on mud brick walls like tiny, judgmental statues. These aren't your average alley cats, they're practically royalty. Egyptians called them miu. Yep, that's where meow comes from, and no, I'm not kidding you. The words etched into hieroglyphs, a little wavy M with a cat's silhouette, found on tomb walls and temple records. Historians agree this linguistic link is no coincidence. It's one of the earliest signs of cats weaving into human culture. Now, imagine you're a farmer, sweating under the sun, hauling grain to a storehouse. A cat slinks by, and you don't dare shoo it. Why? Because these felines are sacred, tied to the gods themselves. They're not just pets. They're guardians of your livelihood, your home, maybe even your soul. One odd detail pops up in the records. Egyptians believed cats could see spirits. Yep, that creepy stare your cat gives the corner of your room at 3 a.m.? Ancient Egyptians thought that was them clocking invisible forces, keeping chaos at bay. No wonder they got the VIP treatment. Imagine telling your boss a cat outranks you. You pause by a small shrine, where a woman kneels, offering a fish to a cat. She's not just being nice, this is serious business. Cats were linked to Bastet, the goddess of protection and fertility, and disrespecting one was like flipping off the divine. Historians still debate whether every cat was considered divine or just the temple ones, but the average Egyptian didn't take chances. You smirk, thinking of your neighbor's cat, who probably demands worship too. Some things never change. As you stand there, the woman glances at you, her coal-lined eyes narrowing. "Careful," she says. "The MIU sees your heart." You laugh it off, but her stare makes you wonder if she's joking. The sun's dipping now, painting the sky orange, and you notice how the cats seem to glow in the twilight, their fur catching the light like polished bronze. It's no wonder Egyptians saw them as magical. They move like they know something you don't. A kid nearby tries to pet one, and his mom yanks him back, whispering about respect. You can't help but chuckle. Imagine grounding your kid for cat disrespect. But that's the deal here. Cats aren't just animals. They're symbols of order in a world where the desert and the Nile are always at odds. You take a deep breath, the air cooling, and feel the rhythm of this ancient city slowing down. The cats settle in for the night, and you're starting to feel like you belong here. Just another shadow in their kingdom. You're still in Memphis, 1500 BCE, the Nile's soft lapping a constant hum as you wander from the bustling riverbank into the heart of a neighborhood. Mud brick houses line narrow streets, their flat roofs cluttered with drying laundry and clay pots. The air smells of warm bread and something sweet, maybe dates fermenting nearby. Cats are everywhere, sprawled across doorsteps, curled in baskets, or stalking through alleys with that smug swagger only a feline can pull off. You're starting to get why these MIU are such a big deal. They're not just temple mascots, they're woven into every corner of daily life, like furry little supervisors keeping ancient Egypt running smoothly. Picture yourself ducking into a modest home, the kind where a weaver or a potter might live. The floor's packed dirt, cool under your sandals, and a reed mat sits in the corner. There, a tabby with eyes like polished malachite lounges, watching you like you owe it rent. The family moves around it carefully, not out of fear, but respect. Historical records, like those from the Middle Kingdom, show cats were household staples, often treated better than the kids. One papyrus even lists a cat's name, Nejem, meaning sweet one, right next to the family's grain inventory. That's the kind of clout we're talking about. Your cat's getting a shout-out in the budget. You notice the mother tossing a scrap of fish to Nejem, who pounces like it's a state dinner. Here's an odd detail. Egyptians sometimes fed cats before themselves, especially during lean harvests. Starve yourself, but make sure the cat's happy. Sounds like my aunt's house, honestly. This wasn't just superstition. Cats earned their keep. They hunted mice that threatened grain stores, which were literal gold in a society where bread was life. Without cats, a single bad season could mean famine. You smirk, imagining a cat strutting into a granary like it's signing a peace treaty. As you linger, the father, a wiry man with calloused hands, starts telling his kids a story about a cat who saved their neighbor's harvest. His voice is low, rhythmic, perfect for lulling you into a doze. He claims the cat chased off a swarm of rats in one night, earning a collar of turquoise beads. Historians still debate whether these stories were exaggerated to boost cats' divine status, or if they were just that good at their job. Either way, you're picturing this feline hero, probably napping afterward without a care, like it didn't just save the block from starvation. You step outside, the evening air now tinged with the scent of jasmine. A cat darts past, chasing a shadow, and you can't help but laugh. Cats haven't changed in 3,500 years, have they? Your modern brain flashes to that viral video of a cat knocking over a lamp, and you wonder if these Egyptians had to deal with similar chaos. Probably, but they'd call it a divine tantrum. Across the street, a woman sweeps her doorstep, pausing to bow slightly as a cat saunters by. It's not just respect, it's a habit, like saying, "Bless you," after a sneeze. Cats are part of the rhythm here, as essential as the Nile's floods. The street's quieter now, the sun long gone, replaced by a sky prickled with stars. You hear a soft yowl from a rooftop, and it's oddly soothing, like nature's white noise machine. Every house you pass has at least one cat, some with names carved into tiny amulets around their necks. You're starting to feel the weight of the day, the dust on your feet, the warmth of the air. These cats, they're not just pets, they're partners in survival, threading through every moment of Egyptian life. You yawn, wondering if Nejem's still watching you from that mat, judging your every step. You're drifting now, leaving the cozy mud-brick homes of Memphis behind, your sandals crunching on a stone path leading to a grander site. The air grows heavy with the scent of myrrh, curling from braziers that glow like tiny suns in the twilight. You're approaching a temple, its limestone walls carved with lotus flowers and towering figures of gods. This is the domain of Bastet, the lioness-turned-cat goddess, and the cats here aren't just pets, they're divine emissaries. You feel a prickle of awe, like you're trespassing in a place where even the air knows it's holy. These felines, lounging on sun-warmed steps or blinking lazily from alcoves, are the heart of a cult that makes modern cat videos look like amateur hour. You step into the temple's courtyard, where priests in linen kilts move with deliberate calm, their shaved heads gleaming under torchlight. A sleek black cat with eyes like twin moons pads by, and the priests pause, bowing slightly. Historical records from the New Kingdom, around 1400 BCE, confirm Bastet's cult was massive, with temples in Bubastis drawing thousands of worshippers. Cats here weren't just symbols, they were living idols, believed to channel Bastet's protective. The spirit. You can't help but smirk. Imagine explaining to your boss that your cat's late for work because it's busy being divine. An odd detail catches your eye. A small altar piled with offerings. Fish, milk, even tiny woven mats for the cats to nap on. One priest pours milk into a shallow dish, and 3 cats saunter over, tails high like they're inspecting a buffet. This wasn't just devotion, it was practical. Cats kept vermin away from sacred spaces, ensuring offerings to the gods stayed pure. You picture a rat trying to sneak a crumb from Bastet's altar. Good luck with that, buddy. These cats are on duty, and they don't mess around. You wander deeper, past columns etched with hieroglyphs praising Bastet's grace. A priestess, her voice soft as a lullaby, chants a hymn, and you catch the word Miu repeated like a mantra. The sound blends with the distant Nile's murmur, pulling you into a drowsy haze. Historians still debate whether Bastet's cat form evolved from her fiercer lioness roots to reflect the domestication of cats, or if it was a marketing ploy to make her more relatable. Either way, the cats here are treated like royalty, and you're starting to feel like the odd one out, just a human in their sacred space. A young acolyte, barely a teen, scatters dried herbs on the ground, giggling as a kitten pounces on them. You chuckle. Even in a temple, cats can't resist a good chase. It's a reminder that, divine or not, these felines still act like the ones knocking over your coffee mug at home. The acolyte catches your eye and whispers, "They choose who belongs here." You nod, half joking to yourself that you'd fail the cat audition. The temple's air is warm, the incense wrapping around you like a blanket, and you feel your eyelids droop. The cats, sprawled across the courtyard, seem to approve of the calm, their slow blinks syncing with your slowing breath. You linger by a statue of Bastet, her cat face serene yet fierce, a reminder of her dual role as protector and warrior. The statue's base is worn, touched by countless hands over centuries. You wonder if your cat back home is secretly channeling this vibe, plotting to guard your fridge from midnight snack raids. The thought makes you smile as you lean against a column, the stone cool against your back. The temple's rhythm, chants, purrs, the flicker of oil lamps, feels like a lullaby crafted just for you. These cats aren't just guarding sacred spaces, they're guarding your drift into sleep, their presence as comforting as a warm blanket on a cool night. You're still in the flickering glow of the Bastet Temple in Memphis, the scent of myrrh lingering as you move past the courtyard into a quieter, shaded corner. The air hums with purpose, and you notice a group of priests gathered around a sandy patch, their voices low and rhythmic. They're not praying, they're training cats. Yes, you heard that right. These aren't just lazy felines napping on altars. They're being coached to guard sacred spaces like furry little sentinels. You lean closer, the cool stone wall against your shoulder, and watch as a priest dangles a piece of dried fish, coaxing a sleek tabby to leap with precision. It's like watching a cat video, but with higher stakes and worse production values. Historical records from the New Kingdom, around 1450 BCE, show temples often doubled as training grounds for cats, especially in Bubastis, where Bastet's cult was strongest. These felines were taught to patrol granaries, altars, and even temple perimeters, chasing off rats or signaling trouble with a yowl. You smirk, imagining a cat clocking in for guard duty while you're stuck filing papyrus reports. The priests here are patient, using treats and soft clicks to guide the cats, who seem only half interested until food's involved. Typical? An odd detail stands out. Some cats wear tiny bronze bells around their necks, tinkling softly as they move. These weren't just for show. The sound warned priests if a cat was chasing something, or someone, near sacred relics. You picture a thief sneaking in, only to be betrayed by a jingly cat alarm. Good luck explaining that to the pharaoh's guards. You stifle a laugh, thinking of your own cat back home, who'd probably sleep through a burglary but wake up for a can opener. The head priest, a wiry man with a shaved head and a linen shawl, kneels beside a young cat, guiding it to a low wall. He points, and the cat leaps, landing with a grace that makes you jealous of its confidence. He murmurs praise, and the cat flicks its tail like it's saying, "Yeah, I know I'm good." Historians still debate whether these training sessions were purely practical or had a ritualistic vibe, meant to honor Bastet by perfecting her earthly avatars. Either way, you're impressed. These cats are basically the Secret Service of ancient Egypt, minus the sunglasses. You wander closer, the sand soft under your sandals, and notice a kitten botching its jump, tumbling into a priest's lap. He chuckles, scooping it up gently, and you can't help but grin. Even divine guards have their clumsy days. It's like watching your coworker spill coffee during a big presentation, except this coworker has whiskers. The other priests don't scold. They just nudge the kitten back to practice, their patience as steady as the Nile's flow. The scene's oddly soothing, the repetitive motions and soft murmurs blending into a rhythm that makes your eyelids heavy. As you watch, a breeze carries the scent of lotus flowers from a nearby shrine, mixing with the dusty warmth of the evening. The cats move with purpose now, some patrolling the edges of the training area, others lounging but alert, their eyes catching the torchlight. You wonder if your cat at home would make the cut here or just nap through the whole thing, dreaming of treats. The thought makes you yawn, and you lean, against a pillar, the stone grounding you. The priest's voices fade into a gentle drone, and the cat's soft footfalls become a lullaby. You're starting to feel like you're part of this ancient routine, just another shadow in a world where cats rule and humans follow. You're slipping away from the temple's training grounds now, the soft jingle of cat bells fading as you follow a dusty path toward the edge of Memphis. The air smells of dry earth and grain, and the Nile's distant murmur feels like a heartbeat under the starlit sky. You're heading to a granary, a squat mud brick building that's less glamorous than the temple but just as vital. Cats are everywhere here, slinking through shadows or perched on sacks of barley, their eyes glinting like they're plotting world domination. These aren't just temple superstars, they're the unsung heroes keeping Egypt's food supply safe from vermin. You feel the weight of their stare, like you're intruding on a feline board meeting. Historical records, like those from the Middle Kingdom around 2000 BCE, confirm granaries were cat central. These storehouses held the grain that fed entire cities, and a single rat infestation could spell disaster. Cats were the ultimate pest control, so revered that some were buried with honors for their service. You smirk, imagining a cat getting a gold star for eating mice. Meanwhile, your coworker's still mad about not getting Employee of the Month. These felines were the MPVS of survival, and every Egyptian knew it. An odd detail catches your attention. Some cats have their own tiny beds woven from papyrus, tucked in the granary's corners. Farmers left them there, not just for comfort, but as a superstitious nod to keep the cats happy. A grumpy cat might slack on rat duty, and nobody wanted to risk that. You picture your own cat back home, who'd probably demand a memory foam mattress instead. You chuckle softly, dodging a tabby that darts past, chasing something invisible in the dark. It's like watching a ninja with a side hustle. You pause by a stack of grain sacks, the air thick with the nutty scent of emmer wheat. A burly worker, his tunic dusted with flour, tosses a scrap of bread to a cat, who inspects it like a food critic before nibbling. He nods at you, muttering, "Keep the MIU fed, keep the harvest safe." His words carry weight, and you get it. Cats aren't just pets here. They're economic lifelines. Historians still debate whether cats were trained specifically for granaries or just naturally gravitated to rodent buffet zones. Either way, their presence means the difference between full bellies and empty ones. The worker points to a corner where a cat's tackling a rat with surgical precision. You wince but can't look away. It's like a nature documentary, but you're in it. The cat's victory yowl is almost smug, and you half expect it to take a bow. You laugh under your breath, thinking of your friend who swears their cat plots against them. Maybe they're not wrong. These Egyptian cats seem to know they're running the show. The granary's quiet now, save for the rustle of paws and the occasional whisker twitch, and it's oddly calming, like the world's oldest ASMR track. You settle against a wall, the cool mud brick soothing your back. The cats move like shadows, their soft footfalls blending with the night's hum. You're starting to feel the pull of sleep, the granary's rhythm lulling you deeper. Remember the temple cats with their bronze bells? These granary felines are scrappier, but they've got the same swagger, guarding Egypt's lifeblood one mouse at a time. The stars above glitter, and you yawn, wondering if you'd make it as a granary guard's assistant. Probably not. Those cats don't share the spotlight. The air's warm, the grain's scent heavy, and you're drifting, carried by the quiet confidence of these whiskered warriors. You're leaving the granary's dusty warmth behind, your sandals brushing against the packed earth as you head toward the heart of Memphis, where the pharaoh's palace looms like a dream in the moonlight. The air's thick with the scent of lotus flowers and polished cedar, and the faint clink of guard spears echoes in the distance. Cats are here too, but these aren't the scrappy granary hunters. These felines lounge on silk cushions or sprawl across marble steps, their fur gleaming like they've got a personal stylist. You're in the royal palace now, where cats live better than most nobles, strutting through halls like they own the crown itself. Historical records from the New Kingdom, around 1350 BCE, mention cats in royal households, often depicted in tomb paintings beside pharaohs like Amenhotep III. These weren't just pets. They were symbols of divine protection, believed to shield the ruler from harm, physical or spiritual. You smirk, imagining a cat swiping at a diplomat's robe and getting away with it because, well, it's basically a god. Your cat back home probably thinks it's on the same level, knocking over your plants with zero remorse. An odd detail catches your eye. Some cats wear tiny gold collars engraved with Bastet's symbol, a sistrum rattle. These weren't just bling. They marked the cat as a pharaoh's personal guard, allowed to roam freely where even nobles tread lightly. You picture a palace servant getting fired for stepping on a cat's tail. Talk about a career-ending fumble. You chuckle softly, dodging a sleek black mew that saunters past, its collar glinting under torchlight. It's like watching a celebrity breeze through a VIP lounge. You slip into a grand hall, its walls painted with scenes of Nile hunts and starry skies. A cat lounges on a throne's armrest, its tail flicking like it's judging the room's decor. A servant pours milk into a silver bowl, and the cat laps it up, unimpressed. Historians still debate whether these palace cats were purely symbolic or had practical roles, like keeping vermin out of royal kitchens. Either way, they're treated like royalty, and you're starting to feel underdressed in your dusty sandals. The servant glances at you, whispering, "Don't stare too long. They know their worth?" You nod, half joking that you'd bow if you weren't so tired. The hall's air is warm, heavy with incense, and you sink onto a stone bench, the cool surface grounding you. A kitten, barely old enough to swagger, bats at a loose thread on a cushion, and you laugh. It's like watching a toddler crash a board meeting. Even in a palace, cats keep it real. The other cats barely blink, sprawled across rugs or perched on windowsills, their eyes catching the moonlight. You wonder if your cat at home dreams of this life, ruling your couch like a pharaoh. The thought pulls a yawn from you, and the palace's rhythm, soft purrs, distant lutes, the rustle of silk, starts to blur the edges of your mind. You lean back, the wall's faint carvings pressing into your shoulders. Remember the granary cats, hustling for their supper? These palace felines are their posh cousins, living the high life but still carrying that same air of quiet authority. The torches flicker, casting shadows that dance like Bastet herself, and you feel the weight of the day slipping away. The cats don't care about your presence. They're too busy ruling this gilded world. You're just a guest here, lulled by their effortless reign, the soft hum of the palace wrapping you like a blanket as you drift closer to sleep. You're drifting from the opulent palace halls now, the scent of lotus and cedar fading as you follow a narrow path away from Memphis's grandeur. The night air is cooler, tinged with the earthy smell of the Nile's banks, and you find yourself at a quiet necropolis, where tombs rise like silent sentinels under the stars. The cats are here too, but not lounging on silk cushions. These felines are part of something stranger, burial rituals that make your modern brain pause. You step carefully among the graves, the sand crunching softly, and notice small wrapped bundles near the tombs. These aren't offerings. They're mummified cats, laid to rest with the reverence of a pharaoh's kin. Historical records from the late period, around 600 BCE, confirm that Egyptians mummified thousands of cats, especially in Bubastis, where Bastet's cult thrived. These weren't random strays. Many were temple cats or beloved pets, preserved to accompany their owners into the afterlife or honor the goddess. You smirk, imagining explaining to your vet that you need your cat mummified for eternity. Good luck with that paperwork. The process was meticulous, with priests wrapping feline bodies in linen, sometimes with tiny amulets tucked inside to ensure their spirits' safe passage. An odd detail stands out. Some cat mummies were adorned with painted masks, their eyes drawn in kohl to mimic Bastet's gaze. You picture a priest spending hours on this, probably muttering about how the cat wouldn't sit still in life either. You chuckle, stepping closer to a tomb where a small cat mummy rests in a niche, its wrappings frayed but intact. It's eerie but oddly touching, like stumbling on a pet's old collar years after they're gone. These cats weren't just buried, they were celebrated, their role as protectors carrying into the next world. You pause by a larger tomb, where a mourner, her face streaked with dust, places a fish-shaped offering beside a cat's sarcophagus. Her voice is soft, almost a whisper, as she prays for the cat's spirit to guard her family beyond death. Historians still debate whether these burials were purely religious or a way to cope with losing a cherished companion. Either way, you feel the weight of her grief, the quiet devotion in her hands. It's like watching someone light a candle for a loved one, except this candle has whiskers and a superiority complex. A stray cat, very much alive, slinks past, brushing your leg, and you laugh under your breath. Leave it to a cat to crash a funeral and act like it owns the place. The necropolis is silent now, save for the faint rustle of palm fronds in the breeze. You settle against a low wall, the stone cool against your back, and watch the stars blink above. The cat mummies, tucked into their niches, seem to hum with stories, each one a guardian in life and death. You yawn, thinking of your own cat, probably sprawled on your couch like it's a throne. The thought pulls you deeper into the night's calm, the necropolis's stillness wrapping around you. Remember the palace cats with their gold collars? These mummified felines are their eternal counterparts forever watching over Egypt's dead. The air feels heavy, not with sadness but with a strange peace, like the world's holding its breath. You're starting to drift, the soft crunch of sand and the distant Nile's murmur blending into a lullaby. The cats, even in death, seem to guard this place, their presence as steady as the tombs themselves. You lean back, the stars blurring, and feel the ancient rhythm of this sacred ground pulling you towards sleep, one quiet purr at a time. You're slipping away from the quiet necropolis now, the starlit tombs fading as you find yourself on a dusty plain outside Memphis where the air crackles with tension. It's 525 BCE, and you're caught in the shadow of a looming battle, the Persian invasion of Egypt. The ground vibrates with marching feet, and the scent of sweat and leather mixes with the dry heat. But amidst the chaos, you spot something odd. Cats, weaving through the ranks of Egyptian soldiers, their tails flicking like they're unfazed by the spears and shields. These aren't just camp stragglers. Legends whisper that cats joined battles, not as fighters but as sacred omens, boosting morale or spooking enemies. You raise an eyebrow, wondering if your cat back home would even bother showing up for a fight. Historical accounts, like those from Herodotus writing around 450 BCE, describe a bizarre moment during the Battle of Pelusium, where Persians allegedly used cats as psychological weapons, knowing Egyptians revered them. The story goes that Egyptian soldiers hesitated to attack, fearing harm to the sacred Miyu. You smirk, picturing a general yelling, "Hold your fire, there's a cat on the battlefield," like a modern-day office meeting paused for a Zoom cat cameo. Whether the tale's exaggerated or not, cats were morale boosters, their presence a reminder of Bastet's protection. An odd detail catches your attention. Some soldiers tie tiny amulets shaped like cats to their shields, believing they'd ward off bad luck. You imagine a grizzled warrior, all scars and grit, fussing over a cat charm like it's his lucky socks. You chuckle, dodging a tabby that darts past, chasing a beetle through the camp. The soldiers don't shoo it. They step aside, muttering blessings. It's like watching your friend tiptoe around their cat's nap spot, except these guys are prepping for war. You pause by a campfire where a soldier, his face etched with worry, feeds a scrap of bread to a scrawny cat curled by his feet. He murmurs, "Stay close, little one. Keep the gods with us." His voice is low, almost a lullaby, and you feel the weight of his hope. Historians still debate whether cats were deliberately brought to battlefields or just followed the food wagons, but their presence clearly mattered. You're starting to see why. There's something calming about a cat's cool confidence when arrows are about to fly. It's like they know something you don't, and you're just along for the ride. A kitten, barely bigger than your hand, stumbles over a sandal and flops into the dirt, earning a laugh from the soldiers nearby. You grin too. It's like watching a TikTok fail, Ancient Egypt edition. The mood lightens for a moment. The cat's antics a small reprieve from the looming fight. You settle near the fire, the warmth sinking into your bones, and watch the cats move through the camp, their eyes catching the flame's glow. The air's thick with dust and anticipation, but the feline's steady presence feels like an anchor, grounding everyone around you. You yawn, the crackle of the fire blending with the soft rustle of paws. Remember the mummified cats in the necropolis? These battlefield felines are their living kin, carrying the same divine aura into the chaos of war. You lean back against a crate, the night sky sprawling above, and feel the tension of the camp start to blur. The cats don't care about the battle lines. They just do their thing, weaving through tents like they own the place. Your eyelids droop, and the soldiers' murmurs fade into a soothing hum. You're drifting now, carried by the quiet swagger of these whiskered warriors, their presence a reminder that even in war, life finds a way to purr on. You're easing away from the tense battlefield now, the campfire's glow and the clatter of spears fading as you slip back into the heart of Memphis, around 1500 BCE. The air's warm, scented with jasmine and the faint tang of Nile mud, as you wander through a bustling market street. The stalls brim with baskets of dates and shimmering bolts of linen, but your eyes are drawn to the cats. They're not just prowling for scraps here, they're decked out like tiny pharaohs, their necks adorned with beads and gold. These felines are rocking serious bling, turning heads as they strut through the crowd. You're in the middle of an ancient Egyptian fashion show, and the cats are the undisputed stars. Historical records, like tomb paintings from the New Kingdom, show cats wearing elaborate collars made of faience beads or even gold, especially in wealthy households. These weren't just accessories. They signaled status, linking the cat to Bastet and the owner to divine favor. You smirk, imagining your cat back home demanding a diamond-encrusted collar. Good luck with that budget. The craftsmanship is stunning, with some collars etched with lotus patterns or tiny sistrum rattles jingling softly as the cats move. An odd detail catches your eye. Some cats sport dyed fur, streaks of red or blue from ochre and lapis paste. It's like ancient Egypt invented cat cosplay, with owners painting their pets to match festival vibes or honor Bastet. You chuckle, picturing a cat strutting through your neighborhood with a neon mohawk. Instagram would lose it. You pause by a stall where a woman threads turquoise beads onto a leather strip, crafting a collar for a smug tabby perched nearby. She glances at you, saying, "A happy cat brings a happy home." You nod, half joking that your cat's happiness usually involves shredding your couch. The market hums with life, vendors calling out prices while kids chase each other, dodging cats like they're sacred obstacles. A kitten with a lopsided beaded collar bats at a stray reed, and you laugh. It's like watching a toddler in oversized jewelry crash a party. The crowd doesn't mind. They step around the kitten with care, some tossing it bits of fish. Historians still debate whether these adornments were purely decorative or had ritual significance, like marking cats as temple offerings. Either way, the cats wear them with the confidence of runway models, unbothered by the chaos around them. You lean against a sun-warmed wall, the stone grounding you as the market's rhythm washes over you. The scent of roasted barley mixes with the jingle of cat collars, and you feel the day's heat settling into your bones. A sleek black cat, its gold collar glinting, brushes past your leg, and you swear it's sizing you up. You grin, thinking of your friend who swears their cat judges their life choices. Maybe they're onto something. The market's colors blur, the reds and blues of dyed fur catching the fading light, and you're starting to drift, lulled by the soft chaos of this feline fashion parade. Remember the palace cats with their gold collars? These market felines are their flashier cousins, turning every street into a catwalk. The air's thick with the buzz of barter and the occasional yowl, and you yawn, feeling the weight of the day slip away. The cats don't care about the haggling or the crowds, they just strut, their bling catching every eye. You're sinking deeper now, the market's hum blending with the Nile's distant lullaby, pulling you toward sleep like a gentle current. These whiskered divas rule the streets, and you're just happy to be in their world, drifting off to their effortless swagger. You're drifting away from the vibrant market now, the jingle of beaded cat collars fading as you wander into a quieter corner of Memphis around 1500 BCE. The air is cooler here, carrying the faint scent of papyrus and baked clay from nearby homes. You're standing in a narrow alley, where the hum of daily life feels hushed, almost reverent. Cats still slink through the shadows, their eyes glinting like they're guarding secrets, but there's a new edge to their presence. You overhear a hushed conversation, a man whispering about a neighbor who harmed a cat and faced dire consequences. In ancient Egypt, messing with Imayu wasn't just bad manners, it was a crime that could cost you everything. Historical records, like those from the New Kingdom, confirm that harming a cat was a serious offense, sometimes punishable by death. The Greek historian Diodorus Siculus, writing centuries later, noted cases where cat killers faced mob justice or execution, especially if the cat belonged to a temple. You smirk, imagining trying to explain to your boss that you're late because you got arrested for shooing a cat. Good luck with that HR meeting. The law was clear. Cats were sacred, tied to Bastet, and disrespecting them was like spitting on the god's doorstep. An odd detail catches your ear. Accidental cat deaths could still land you in hot water. One story tells of a man who tripped over a cat, killing it, and had to offer his entire harvest as penance. You picture him pleading his case while the cat's family glares from a rooftop, plotting revenge. You chuckle softly, dodging a tabby that darts past, its tail flicking like it's daring you to try something. The alley's quiet, but you feel eyes on you, human and feline, watching to see if you'll respect the unspoken rules. You pause by a small shrine, where a woman lights a tiny oil lamp and mutters a prayer for forgiveness, her hands trembling. She's not mourning a person, she's atoning for scaring a temple cat. Her voice is low, almost a whisper, and you catch the fear in her eyes. Historians still debate whether these harsh punishments were enforced consistently or just used to scare people into compliance. Either way, you get why she's nervous. One wrong move, and the whole neighborhood might turn on her. It's like accidentally liking your ex's post on social media, except with higher stakes and more whiskers. A kitten, oblivious to the tension, bats at a stray pebble, tumbling into your path. You laugh under your breath. It's like watching a toddler derail a serious moment. The woman glances at you, her face softening, and says, "Careful, they see everything." You nod, half joking that your cat back home probably reports your every move to the couch gods. The alley's air is still, the lamps flicker casting shadows that dance like Bastet's silhouette. You lean against a mud brick wall, the cool surface grounding you, and feel the weight of this strange cat-ruled world settling in. Remember the market cats with their flashy collars? These alley felines are their watchful kin, enforcing a code that keeps Egypt's spiritual order intact. The woman's prayer fades into a soft hum, blending with the distant Nile's murmur. You yawn, the alley's quiet wrapping around you like a blanket. The cats don't need to flex their power. Their mere presence is enough to keep everyone in line. You're sinking now, the soft patter of paws and the lamp's glow pulling you deeper. This world of feline justice feels oddly comforting, like a bedtime story where the good guys always have whiskers and a smug grin. You're slipping away from the tense alley now, the flickering oil lamp and whispered prayers fading as you wander back toward the heart of Memphis, around 1500 BCE. The night air is soft, carrying the scent of Nile reeds and distant cook fires, and you find yourself near a small temple courtyard, its walls glowing faintly under moonlight. Cats are everywhere, curled in corners or perched on low ledges, their eyes like tiny stars watching the world. But there's a mystical edge here, a sense that these Miu aren't just guarding granaries or palaces. They're tied to something bigger, something cosmic. You feel a shiver, like you're brushing against secrets the stars themselves keep. Historical records, like those from the Book of the Dead, show Egyptians believed cats could see beyond the mortal world, acting as guardians against chaotic forces. Their connection to Bastet wasn't just about protection. It linked them to May-At, the cosmic order that kept the universe spinning. You smirk, imagining your cat back home staring at a wall like it's decoding the Matrix. Maybe it's onto something after all. These felines were seen as spiritual sentinels, their gaze a shield against the unseen. An odd detail catches your attention. Some Egyptians wore cat-shaped amulets to ward off evil spirits, especially during festivals for the dead. You picture a merchant slipping one into his tunic, half hoping it'll keep ghosts from stealing his dates. You chuckle softly, stepping carefully around a black cat sprawled across the path, its tail flicking like it's daring you to disturb its nap. The courtyard's quiet, save for a priestess scattering herbs in a circle, muttering about keeping chaos at bay. Her movements are slow, deliberate, and you feel the air grow heavier, like it's charged with something ancient. You pause by a stone bench, the cool surface grounding you as you watch a cat leap onto a wall, its silhouette stark against the moon. The priestess glances at you, her voice a whisper. They see what we cannot. Her words linger, and you wonder if she's talking about spirits or just the cat's knack for spotting dinner. Historians still debate whether this belief in cats' supernatural sight was purely symbolic or tied to their nocturnal hunting skills. Either way, you're starting to feel like these felines are watching your soul, and it's both creepy and oddly comforting, like a spooky bedtime story. A kitten, barely bigger than your hand, bats at a fallen leaf, tumbling into the dust with a tiny mew. You laugh under your breath. It's like watching a ghost hunter trip over their own cape. The priestess smiles too, softening the courtyard's eerie vibe. The cats here don't seem fazed by their cosmic duties. They just do their thing, lounging or prowling with that effortless feline swagger. You lean back, the stars above twinkling like they're in on the secret, and feel the courtyard's rhythm. Soft purrs, rustling herbs, pulling you deeper into a drowsy haze. Remember the alley cats enforcing their sacred code? These temple felines are their mystical cousins, guarding not just homes, but the balance of the universe. You yawn, the scent of herbs wrapping around you like a warm blanket. The cat's steady presence feels like a promise that chaos won't win. Not tonight. Your eyelids droop, the moonlight blurring into a soft glow, and you're sinking now, carried by the quiet magic of these whiskered watchers. The courtyard's hum is a lullaby, and you're drifting, wondering if your own cat is keeping the cosmos in check while you sleep. You're gliding away from the moonlit temple courtyard now, the mystical hum of cats and herbs fading as you find yourself on a bustling dock along the Nile around 1200 BCE. The air is alive with the tang of fish and the creak of wooden boats, their sails flapping like giant wings in the dawn breeze. Cats are here too, weaving through crates of grain and pottery, their eyes sharp as they watch sailors load goods for distant lands. These aren't just local heroes anymore. Egyptian cats are going global, carried on trade ships to places like Greece and Phoenicia. You lean against a stack of amphorae, the river's cool mist brushing your face, and realize you're witnessing the start of a feline diaspora. Historical records from the late Bronze Age show Egyptian cats were prized exports, often gifted to foreign rulers or smuggled aboard ships to guard cargo from rats. By 1000 BCE, their descendants were prowling Mediterranean ports, spreading their whiskered charm. You smirk, imagining a Phoenician sailor trying to haggle for a cat like it's a barrel of wine. Good luck lowballing a goddess's avatar. These cats weren't just pest control. They were ambassadors of Egypt's mystique, carrying Bastet's aura across the sea. An odd detail catches your eye. Some traders wrap cats in linen cloths during voyages, not for warmth, but to protect their divine essence. You picture a cat swaddled like a burrito, glaring at its handler with pure disdain. You chuckle softly, dodging a tabby that leaps onto a crate, its tail flicking like it's inspecting the ship's manifest. A sailor, his hands rough from ropes, tosses it a bit of dried fish, muttering, "Keep the rats away, little one." The cat ignores him, naturally, because why acknowledge a human when you're basically royalty? You wander along the dock, the Nile's ripples catching the sunrise like a mirror. A merchant, his tunic stained with salt, boasts about a cat he sold to a Cretan captain for a sack of silver. His voice is loud, but you catch a hint of reverence. He knows these cats are more than merchandise. Historians still debate whether this cat trade was purely economic or a subtle flex of Egyptian soft power, spreading their culture through feline ambassadors. Either way, you're impressed. These cats are basically furry diplomats, conquering hearts without lifting a paw. A kitten, barely steady on its legs, stumbles over a coil of rope and flops into the dust, earning a laugh from the sailors nearby. You grin too. It's like watching a tiny intern botch their first day on the job. The mood's light, despite the hectic loading, and the cat's presence seems to keep everyone grounded. You settle on a wooden bench, the river's rhythm soothing your bones, and watch a cat perch on a ship's rail, staring at the horizon like it's planning its next conquest. You yawn, thinking of your own cat, probably claiming your couch as its empire right now. Remember the temple cats with their cosmic gaze? These dockside felines are their adventurous kin, sailing to new worlds while still ruling the roost. The air's warm, the Nile's murmur blending with the creak of boats, and you feel the day's energy slowing. The cats don't care about trade deals or distant shores, they just do their thing, guarding the goods with that effortless swagger. You're sinking now, the sunrise blurring into a golden haze, and the river's gentle lap pulls you deeper. These whiskered explorers are your guides, carrying you toward sleep on the current of their quiet reign. You're drifting from the bustling Nile docks now, the creak of boats and the tang of fish fading as you find yourself in a quieter Memphis, around 500 BCE. The air feels heavier, tinged with dust and the faint scent of burning oil lamps as foreign influences creep into Egypt's streets. Persian rule has taken hold, and the once unquestioned reverence for cats is starting to wane. You wander through a temple courtyard, its walls chipped and less crowded than before, where a few cats still lounge on sun-warmed stones. Their eyes glint with the same old swagger, but the mood's different, less like a divine stronghold, more like a fading tradition. You lean against a cracked pillar, feeling the weight of change in the cooling night. Historical records from the late period, particularly under Persian rule after 525 BCE, show a decline in Bastet's cult as foreign powers brought new gods and customs. Temples dedicated to cats lost funding, and their sacred status dimmed, though some Egyptians clung fiercely to the old ways. You smirk, imagining a stubborn priest hiding a cat from a Persian tax collector like it's contraband. Talk about feline rebellion. The Miyu are still here, but their divine spotlight is flickering, pushed aside by new rulers who don't get the hype. An odd detail catches your attention. Some locals still sneak offerings to cats, hiding fish or milk in temple corners to avoid Persian scrutiny. It's like smuggling treats to a pet under your mom's nose, except with higher stakes. You chuckle softly, watching a woman slip a scrap of bread to a tabby, her eyes darting to check for onlookers. The cat munches away, unbothered, as if it knows it's still the boss. You pause by a shrine, its Bastet statue dusty but intact, and feel a pang of nostalgia for the days when these felines ruled unchallenged. A priest, his linen robe frayed, sweeps the courtyard, muttering about the new gods crowding out the old. His voice is low, almost a lullaby, and you catch the bitterness in his tone. Historians still debate whether this decline was due to Persian policies or a natural shift as Egypt's global influence waned. Either way, you sense the cats don't care. They still prowl with that quiet confidence, like they're just waiting for the world to catch up. You smile, thinking of your own cat back home, who'd probably ignore a regime change unless it affected treat time. A kitten, scrawny but bold, bats at a fallen leaf, tumbling into the dust with a tiny mew. You laugh under your breath. It's like watching a tiny rebel defy the new order with sheer cuteness. The priest glances over, his face softening, and tosses it a crumb. The courtyard's quiet now, save for the rustle of paws and the distant Nile's hum, and you feel the weight of this fading era settling in. You settle onto a stone bench, the cool surface soothing your back, and watch a cat stretch languidly, its fur catching the moonlight. The air's still, the temple's rhythm slowing, and you're starting to drift, lulled by the cat's stubborn grace. Remember the dockside cats sailing to new lands? These temple felines are their fading kin, holding on to their divine legacy in a changing world. You yawn, the scent of dust and oil wrapping around you like a blanket. The cat's presence feels like a quiet protest, a reminder that some things endure, even as empires shift. Your eyelids droop, the courtyard blurring into a soft haze, and you're sinking deeper, carried by the gentle defiance of these whiskered holdouts. The night's calm is a lullaby, and you're drifting, wondering if the cats will outlast us all. You're slipping away from the fading temple courtyard now, the dusty air and quiet defiance of Memphis blending into a softer, broader haze. The Nile's murmur lingers, but you're no longer bound to 500 BCE. You're floating through time, landing in a timeless space where the legacy of Egypt's sacred cats stretches across centuries, touching even your modern world. The scent of incense fades, replaced by a faint whiff of your own home, maybe coffee or laundry detergent, as you stand in a dreamy museum, surrounded by glass cases holding cat mummies and gold collars. Cats still prowl your mind, their ancient swagger echoing in every feline that curls up on a couch today. You lean against a display, the cool glass grounding you, and feel their story weaving into the present. Historical records show that Egyptian cat reverence influenced cultures far beyond the Nile, from Greek myths to Roman art, where felines became symbols of luck and mystery. By the Roman period, around 100 CE, cats were common in Europe, descendants of those Nile dock exports you saw. You smirk, imagining your cat back home as a distant cousin of Bastet's crew, probably demanding treats with the same divine entitlement. Their legacy lives in how we pamper our pets. From fancy collars to viral cat videos, Egypt's MIU started it all. An odd detail catches your eye: a Roman coin in the museum case, stamped with a cat's silhouette, likely inspired by Egyptian reverence. It's like finding an ancient meme, proof that cats have been stealing the spotlight forever. You chuckle softly, picturing a Roman merchant flipping that coin while a cat naps on his ledger. You wander past a display of faience amulets, their tiny cat shapes worn smooth by centuries of hands. A museum guard, half asleep himself, nods at you, muttering, "Cats still run the show." You grin, thinking of your friend who swears their cat owns the house. Some things never change. You pause by a replica of a Bastet statue, its serene face glowing under soft lights. The museum's hum, distant footsteps, a low air conditioner drone, feels like a modern echo of the Nile's rhythm. Historians still debate whether Egypt's cat worship directly shaped modern pet culture, or if humans just can't resist a good purr. Either way, you feel the connection, like a thread from Memphis's temples to your living room. You yawn, the museum's quiet wrapping around you, and picture your own cat, sprawled across your couch like it's a pharaoh's throne, carrying the same quiet confidence you saw in those ancient felines. A kitten in a nearby exhibit photo, frozen mid-pounce, makes you laugh. It's like catching your cat in the act of knocking over a mug, except this one's immortalized in clay. The museum feels alive, each artifact whispering stories of cats who guarded granaries, lounged in palaces, and sailed the seas. You settle onto a bench, the cool wood soothing your back, and let the displays blur into a soft mosaic of whiskers and gold. Remember the dockside cats, ready to conquer new lands? Their descendants are everywhere now, from your neighbor's tabby to internet-famous felines, all tracing back to Egypt's sacred milieu. The air's still, the museum's glow fading into a gentle haze, and you're sinking deeper, lulled by the timeless charm of these feline legends. Their legacy isn't just in artifacts, it's in every cat that claims a lap or stares down a human with that ancient, knowing look. Your eyelids droop, the hum of history blending with your own slowing breath. You're drifting now, carried by the quiet power of cats who ruled then and still rule now, their purrs a lullaby across millennia, pulling you towards sleep. You're floating now, the museum's glow softening into a dreamlike haze, the artifacts and their stories dissolving into a warm, timeless embrace. The air feels gentle, like a whisper of Nile breeze mixed with the cozy scent of your own bed. You're no longer tethered to Memphis or ancient docks. You're in a quiet, liminal space where cats, those whiskered guardians, still linger, their presence a soft thread weaving through every moment you've seen. Picture yourself sinking into a plush chair, the kind that hugs you back, as a cat's silhouette curls up in your mind, its eyes half closed, purring you into the night. The world slows, and you're ready to drift, carried by the timeless charm of Egypt's feline protectors. There's no single historical fact to pin down here. The legacy of these cats is the history, stretching from Bastet's temples to your living room. Their influence lingers in every cat that claims a sunny spot or stares at you like you owe it taxes. You smile, thinking of your own cat, probably sprawled across your blanket right now, ruling with the same quiet swagger you saw in those palace felines. The connection feels eternal, like a purr echoing across centuries, tying you to those ancient sands. An odd detail floats up. In some modern cultures, people still whisper that a cat's stare can ward off bad luck, a faint echo of Egypt's belief in their cosmic gaze. You chuckle, imagining your cat glaring at your alarm clock to keep the morning at bay. Honestly, it might work. You're sinking deeper now, the chair's embrace blending with the soft hum of memory. The cats you've met, granary hunters, temple sentinels, bejeweled divas, seem to gather around you, their purrs a gentle rhythm, like waves lapping at a distant shore. There's no debate to settle here. Historians agree the milieu left their mark, but you don't need scrolls to feel it. You see it in every kitten tumbling over a reed or lounging on a pharaoh's throne. You laugh softly, picturing a cat knocking over a pyramid of cans in your kitchen, just to remind you who's boss. The air's warm, the world quiet, and you feel the weight of the day slipping away, replaced by a calm that's as old as the Nile itself. These cats, with their knowing eyes and lazy grace, have always been guides, leading you through history to this moment of rest. You're drifting now, the edges of the world blurring like a watercolor left in the rain. The cats are still here, their silhouettes soft against a starry sky, their purrs blending with your slowing breath. Remember the battlefield cats, unfazed by chaos? Or the mummified ones, guarding eternity? They're all here, in this gentle haze, watching over you as you sink deeper. Your eyelids are heavy, the chair's warmth wrapping you like a blanket, and the cat's quiet presence feels like a promise. You're safe. You're home. You're drifting. You're nestled in that soft, dreamlike space now, where the Nile's murmur and the purr of ancient cats blend into a single, soothing hum. The felines of Egypt, granary guardians, palace royalty, cosmic sentinels, have guided you through their world, each step a gentle nudge towards sleep. Their legacy isn't just in the gold collars or temple offerings, it's in the quiet confidence of every cat that's ever claimed a lap or stared down the dark. You feel their presence still, a warm, furry weight in your mind, lulling you with the rhythm of their timeless reign. The stars above Memphis fade, replaced by the soft glow of your own room, the cat's purrs echoing in your slowing breath. You're safe here, wrapped in their ancient charm, drifting deeper into a peaceful slumber where whiskers and dreams intertwine.